The CAA recently issued a document called Acceptable Means of Compliance and Guidance Material. In this document, Article 2, Paragraph 7 says, in order to control the visual flight path of the UA, that's the unmanned aircraft, it must be kept within a suitable distance of the remote pilot such that they can monitor the aircraft's position, orientation and the surrounding airspace at all times. Here's just how far a normal human being with eyesight similar to mine can now fly a mini drone. So let's see just how far I can actually see the orientation of my DJI Mini 3 Pro. And I'm going to be honest with you, the camera might lose sight well enough to see the orientation before my eyes do, but I'll be honest with you. As you know, I always am. Okay. Let's send Caledonia out and see just how far it is before I lose sight of the orientation. I can still see her there. Can I tell which way she's flying? Facing? Just by looking at her? No, not really. I can tell which way she's facing looking at the screen, but I can't tell which way she's facing at the moment. I have no idea. She's out 76 metres. Let me bring her back in until I'm confident that I can see her orientation. Now, okay, I can see the black camera at her front, so I know that she's facing me, and if I turn her away, I can tell the camera's on the left, so I can tell the orientation there just by using the camera. And now I can't see the black spot, so obviously she's flying away from me, so I can tell the orientation there. So that's about my limit, and we're looking at 60 metres. But once I move her up into the sky, I can't really tell her orientation until I move her, and then I know which way she's facing. I know which way she's facing when I try to move her, but just by looking at her, I can't tell. So, I have to be honest. And if I am honest, beyond 60 metres, I could not tell by looking at her what orientation she was facing, what way she was facing. As soon as I moved her, I could then know which way she was facing, but I still couldn't tell by looking at her. So at 60 metres, I'm actually breaking the regulations that the CAA have just introduced to the new AMC ones. I'm going to tell you how I'll deal with this ridiculously stupid rule, but before that, let's have a look at 9 other stupid rules that are active in the UK right now. Do you know that it's illegal to fly a kite in a public place? This is a law for 1839. It's the Metropolitan Police Act 1839 section 54, and it still stands today. It means you're not allowed to fly a kite in a public place, including a park. How about dressing up as a police officer or a soldier for Halloween or for a fancy dress party? Aye, that's against the law as well.
What? What the fuck?
The Seamen's and Soldiers False Character Act 1906 and Police Act 1966 says that you can be arrested and locked up for wearing a police officer's uniform or a soldier's uniform, even if it's fancy dress. Have you ever had a wee slide on the ice along a street? Well, that's illegal too. It's against the law as well, according to the Metropolitan Police Act 1839. And if a police wants to get you for something, he can get you for that.
Am I under arrest?
Next time you go to a pub for a few drinks, make sure it's only a few drinks you have. Because do you know in the UK, it's against the law to be drunk in a pub or a club. This is the Licensing Amendment Act 1988, and you can be fined up to 200 quid if you're caught in a pub drunk. The landlord can also be fined as well for selling you drink if you're drunk.
You serious?
Right, we all know it's an offence to drive faster than 70 miles per hour on a dual carriageway or a motorway, or 60 miles per hour on a single carriageway. But can you all tell me that you have never ever gone above the speed limit in the UK? Before I continue on with the rest of the list of my stupid rules in the UK, I want to remind you that the CAA are now saying you cannot fly a mini drone more than 100 metres. Is that the daftest rule in the UK? Maybe, but maybe no. Next time you're at a fast food place picking up your burger, make sure you switch off your car, apply the handbrake and remove the key before you try to pay with your phone. Because if you do pay with your phone and the engine of the car is still on, you'll get done for operating a motor vehicle while using a phone, and that's against the law. It's a 200 quid spot fine and 6 penalty points.
Okay, that was good.
If you're way never plays Chappie, Chapdoor Run, or Knock Knock Ginger, or whatever else you call it, it's against the law. Once again, the Metropolitan Police Act 1839, section 54, but it's still in effect right now today.
No.
Don't sound your horn as a rebuke to somebody that cuts you up, because not only is it against the highway code, it's against the law. It's an instant 50 quid fine, or if you want to take it to court, you can be fined up to 1,000 quid.
Unbelievable.
And finally, one of the saddest and most ridiculous laws that are active in the UK right now, you are not allowed to linger after a funeral. Now, if you think, aye, but nobody ever enforces that, that's not quite true. In 2015, Frank Blades was at his wife's funeral and he didn't really want to leave the graveside, so he lingered at her graveside for 20 minutes. What happened to Frank? 160 quid fine. That's what happened to Frank. This law is still in effect today. Do you comply with all of these stupid, crazy laws? If you do, you're probably one of the type of people that is going to comply with the new CAA AMC regulation, which means you have to fly your drone knowing the orientation of it at all times while looking at it, which means in effect you're not going to be able to fly it more than about 50 metres. Are you going to comply with it? Am I going to comply with it? I'm awfully sorry to tell you, CAA, but you can take your acceptable means of compliance and guidance material and stick it right up your ass.